Welcome back to Talking Turf. All right, Gary?
Yes, you?
Yes, you've got 60 seconds. You've got a lot of target boots. See you soon. Welcome back to Talking Turf, live on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Gary, how we doing?
Good. What's going on?
It's just the reason why late is I've just had to bookmark a couple of tweets and screenshot a couple of others for the show later on, just to show you how fickle some fans are. Anyway, right, so we missed last week, obviously, because I was away with the Waltons. Premier League results. So the week before, we'll just flick through these, right? This was match week 9, which we missed, Gary. Leicester won, Forest 3. Good result for Forest. We'll get into detail in the next round of fixtures. But another good win for Forest. Man City scraping a 1-0 win against Southampton. I tell you, they would struggle.
I think you might even have took Southampton, didn't you?
I
think you might even have took Southampton.
I just the D wheel there, unlucky, really. Cracking game done in Brentford. Brentford 4, Ipswich 3. We both had Brentford and last man standing, if I remember rightly.
Yes,
Ipswich equalised late on, didn't it? And then Brentford.
I thought that was it. And then I thought that was it. Aye. Until later on, I seen he put like a thing on in one of our WhatsApp groups, and I was like, we're in.
We're in. Peter Tate's though. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
He's lucky he won the first competition, because I'm sure he's been first through every time since. Brighton 2, Wolves 2. Aston Villa 1, Bournemouth 1. Another surprising result for a lot of people, I think. Villa starting to show a few cracks there now, aren't they?
Yeah, but I know they got that big result against Bayern Munich in the Champions League, but I think me, you, and probably a lot of people that come on here probably also thought the same, like with the more competitions and stuff that you're in, it'll take its toll. Especially like once you get to like the Christmas area, when you've got Premier League coming more and more, and then the Champions League, and they haven't really got the squad, have they? They've got a couple of decent players to come off the bench, but to be able to compete at that level, I mean, it was the second half against Spurs, which I know we're going to get into. Obviously, they totally folded, didn't they? So, they're on a little bit of a bad patch at the minute, but they're still in a good position.
See, with massive clubs like Man United, they handle it, don't they? But the same happened with Newcastle last year. Another little club got into Champions League, realised what it was all about, totally got hampered, and they're suffering, aren't they? You know, like near Europe, obviously. So Villa's finding that out now, like you say. Moving on, Everton 1, Fulham 1. Probably a likely result. Palace 1, Tottenham 0. Good result for Palace, that
was.
Chelsea, when they play that strongest team, are hard to beat this season. Newcastle found that out in the Premier League. They got beat 2-1 of Chelsea.
What a pass by Cole Palmer for that goal, by the way.
Unbelievable.
That deserves a mention. That it was.
Aye. I didn't think Newcastle played badly. you know, like a lot of
chances. That chances.
I mean, hold on. I'll tell you what. We'll just quickly flick of it, right? Because a lot of fans
were asking for his head, weren't they?
Aye. Let's just have a quick look here. So on X, if I share that, it should come up. Eddie Howe out, as you can see. Like this post if you want Howe out. Eddie Howe out. Howe out. NUFC. Notice how the Garland Republic stuff came out after Eddie was brought in. Stupid mud is poisoning our players with his politics. Eddie out. Eddie out, I'm afraid, says a lot. And also, we'll just click on here. Share screen. Facebook. You'll see here. Gallen, the client, who's Martin Gallen. Aye, mate, we were pure shit. Eddie can do one and take half of his team with him. You see that? All right, lad. We're going to end up in a fucking relegation battle here. You know, like, straight away, boom. As soon as there's a loss, I think they should be winning the Premier League, the Champions League, everything. And as soon as they don't get a win, they're all on his back. Eddie out. And I haven't managed to bookmark many tweets, like, once we fast forward a bit. But, you know, unbelievable, man. And then, obviously, West Ham 2, Man United 1, which seen the end of the Eric Ten Hag era. Once again, players, well, look, this guy sums it up perfectly. I don't know if I'll do this, Gary. I think we are. I want to share it. Here we're going. Where is it?
It's been a challenging week. The club, what has it been like?
Oh, every week is challenging here at the club. If you win or if you lose, obviously it's a different week because we all know that Eric is gone, and it's not good for anyone at the club when a manager goes, because it means that the positions and where the team is not the best, the results are not the best, and then it ends up that the manager is the one that pays, and we are all disappointed by that, because whenever you see a manager go, you always have to take a little bit of the blame on yourself, because you need to look at the mirror first, because if he goes, the team is not doing so well, and everyone as individual has to look at themselves first.
Yeah, I was going to ask what the feeling is like. Obviously, it's always the manager that gets the blame, but do you find that as a player, you have feelings of guilt, responsibility? You know, what more could I have done?
Oh, of course. I think everyone has to be aware of that. We all know that when the manager leaves, everyone is involved. Only one pays, because it's easier to get rid of a manager than 10 or 15 players. And
I think that is absolutely perfectly summed up by Bruno Fernandes. It's easier to get rid of one man as it is 15 players. Like you said to me, this time round, the new manager, it's not going to be so easy to get rid of, because he's the choice of the CEO. The new CEO, I don't think the players will be able to go against them. I think they're going to have to show that you either put up or you put out.
Well, because that's what we said, didn't we? They wanted to bring a coach in rather than having like Ten Hag manager. Me and you both know that he has the overall say on like series transfers and stuff like that. This new ownership didn't want that. They wanted someone they could bring in, and then you use the structure that's been set up, obviously, with Dan Ashworth and whoever else, like from the top to the bottom, and they'll bring players in. We heard that Jim Ratcliffe interview over the weekend, and he basically turns around and says, you put Max Verstappen in a Williams, you're not winning the Formula One. You turn up to the America's Cup with a boat, you're not winning the race. It's, you know what I mean? And ultimately, he knows he hasn't got the squad there, but it seems like he's prepared to do a rebuild again.
Yes, it's definitely an exciting future if you've got money to spend. Finishing off with Arsenal 2, Liverpool 2, probably what everybody expected again, to be fair. So we'll move on to last weekend's, but we'll flick through these comments quickly. Chris Dobie and Eddie We Trust. Actually, Dobie was probably one of the only ones I didn't say out in that group about Eddie. The rest of them were, Gary, where you gone? He's back.
Abracadabra.
Daniel Thompson, those how out have only started supporting the Toon 4 years ago. Honestly, really hope Martin Gallen and Peter Tate are watching this. Honestly, there you go. There you are. We're not the only ones that think it. Wow, ban the fucker, says Billy Noble. Our new Facebook, Perry. Newcastle fans are always the same. Put the real Bruno on, man, says Dobie. Evening, lads, says Yo Amanda. Good evening.
Evening.
And rebuild. Eric Ten Hag has spent 620 million for fuck's sake. Eric Ten Hag hasn't always been the one to give the go-ahead. He disagreed with Anthony's price tag for starters and a couple of others. But it's a whole new era. It's a whole new era. We'll see how it goes. I'm personally looking forward to it. I think we've been playing a little bit better football of late, just cannot score goals, and that's still the problem. So until January, we're knackered. We need a striker who can score goals.
Billy is right what he's saying. Like, he has had 620 million. But I mean, you give me 620 million. I could have probably done exactly the same sort of thing with the same mistakes. That's what I'm saying. The thing is, it's Man United, and you'll get another 620 million under this new ownership because the revenue's there. I don't think it's right, but we can afford to do it. That's the top and bottom. And the will do it. We've seen it time and time and time again. The will do the rebuild, and everyone's got to accept that. Like,
what do you mean? It's right. It's not our fault. We're the massive.
It's not our fault that we've got the most fans in the world, and that the money's constantly there. And it is this FFP. Like, it's now to us because the money will just keep being generated and generated and generated. The new stadium will generate even more. That's a fact. Like, that's why Newcastle, we've said it a few times on this show, Melly, the same thing with Newcastle. People didn't want to leave St. James's Park. But if you leave St. James's Park, you build your own stadium, you put hotels around it, that's revenue. We're talking to the kid on the Chelsea trade with Chelsea, and he says the owner bought the academy off the thing. So that money was reinvested. Like, these are businessmen.
I mean, like, if you look at that Todd Bowley, right? He's buying players, but he's putting them on 8-year contracts. And people were saying he's daft, but he's also like spanning the fee over 8 years as well. So a player that costs 80 million is 10 million a year off your FFP. 10 million.
That's it. It's affordability, isn't it? And then you bring that revenue in from elsewhere. It covers it.
These lot that's come in and bought the Toon, bless them. They're now to sell oil and buy oil, but they're different now about football. It's clear. And losing Staveley is massive for them. She was proper hands-on. And I think since she's gone, Newcastle's took a dip. I honestly do. I really do. I think, like, you might think, it's not possible, that, man. Jesus, she was behind the scenes. I think she brought a togetherness to Newcastle. That's what got Newcastle through the last 2 games, was the togetherness. Because the fielded players, when they weren't near as good as Arsenal's fielded players, but they had the togetherness in that game. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, and I've said it all along, I said it to Gallen at the beginning of the week, you'll beat Chelsea and you'll beat Arsenal after they got beat off Chelsea. I says, you'll beat them both. Give out. I says, I'm telling you, you are a different team when you play at home. And you always play good against the top teams. But let's reevaluate that after the Forest game. Because they'll get beat off Forest. And our Forest are sitting third. But they're still not, like, fantastic. Newcastle should really, realistically, be beating them, shouldn't they? Aye. But they'll not. They'll not beat them. Because that's where they gone wrong. And they got to Fulham. They play Brighton.
Well, it's a bit like we're the same. We're the same. We tend to show up, like, for the better teams. Like, that's just the way it is. You've got to be able to get up against the lesser teams, though, and blow them away. That's the thing.
James Brown saying, Gary, looking forward to the weekend. What are you doing the weekend,
lad? Tenerife. We're going to the Reef. Yeah.
Get in, lad.
Chile and Mavs 40th.
You know. E-I-E-I-E-I-O, up the Premier League we go. He's talking about Forest, I think, Johnny B. But it was spent. Yes, it was. Party at Brotherton's. Bring the fizzy pop, says Gary Scurfield. I'm sure the max you can put in over is 5 years. I'm not sure. Honestly, I wouldn't like to comment, mate. Chris Wood, hat-trick. That's probably most likely. Moldy's saying, I'm not a Man United fan, but to be fair, you've picked a quality coach now. He was a target for Liverpool in the summer and thought he was coming in. Looking forward to seeing him in England. Nice touch. I think he was actually going to be Pep's successor as well. And now he's only managed in Portugal. He's still quite young. But he plays an attractive style of football. You know what I mean? And one thing's for sure, like that guy said who sits next to you, Gary, if the likes of Rashford and Garnacho, you seen that clip of Garnacho where Casemiro sprints by him, he goes mental with him. I don't think he can afford to do that. You know, like the one thing about Anthony Gordon is, yes, he's good, but you know, when they're defending on the goal line, the wrong goal line, you can guarantee Gordon's doubling up and he's there.
Getting back.
Helping.
No,
he does the dirty work as well as the
I
like.
think it was excellent to say that from Casemiro, and that's the first time I've seen him do that. I think that comes from Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Aye.
Like when the young ones aren't pulling their weight, you've got to tell them. Like,
well, and insider who we know.
Don't be scared to tell them. And don't be scared to tell them. I want you to tell them when they're making mistakes.
The insider who we know, he said to me that Ruud van Nistelrooy's training is off the scale. I love it. They love it. And I'm very surprised that he didn't get a shot, to be honest with you. But I don't know. Was he ready for it? He says he wouldn't be assistant anywhere else in the world apart from Man United. I honestly thought he would have gotten a crack. But they've obviously decided to get their own man in as quick as they can, stop the circus, get him in, get it done. Ruud, stay on, be his assistant, learn a bit more. You know, like, can from there. We'll see what the future holds. John Ram saying he's sure they're changing the time down to 5 years. Probably. Lewis Chaplin, Garnacho been doing my head in the way he keeps flinging his arms about. That's the problem, though, isn't it? You know, when a young'un has a few good games in the D well, like Rashford was the same. Then they think of that invincible and that undroppable. And
they've made it.
Aye, whereas you've got Amad Diallo there, I would be starting him. I'll be mixing it up. I'll be putting Amad on, drop Rashford, drop Garnacho, put him on.
100%.
The ball sticks to that man's foot unbelievably. I love him, me personally. Right, let's flick through these. So we'll start off on Saturday, 12:30 kickoff at St James's Park. It was Newcastle 1, Arsenal 0. Excellent result for Newcastle. It was a peach of a cross from Anthony Gordon, which seen Isak rise like a salmon, burst the back of the net. Newcastle held out. Arsenal won, very threatening. You have to give a little bit of plaudit to Newcastle for stopping them. But ultimately, Newcastle get the 3 points, which takes them into top 10. Arsenal, another defeat. Not looking good now. They're what? 7 points behind Liverpool already, mate, after 10 games.
And I've just seen the night there that Edu, their sporting director, has resigned. So I'm not sure that it's a happy camp at the minute, Arsenal.
Edu's actually going to be part of this consortium that's got Nottingham Forest and somebody else involved in it.
Is he?
Aye, Leon, I'm sure. And I'm sure it was Leon. And he's going to oversee that. Exciting times, actually, for Forest and that, apparently.
Oh, well. But I mean, I watched the Newcastle game, and I totally agree. I mean, Arsenal, I mean, they did have chances. Obviously, Saka's always dangerous. I think Martinelli can be. But, I mean, I thought Newcastle thoroughly deserved the win, if I'm being honest, and could have scored more goals themselves. I think, but like you said, at home, I fancy Newcastle. I had them to beat Man City a few weeks ago. I thought they would beat them. When they got the penalty on that 60 minutes, they probably should have. They had chances. They had that spill in the game. You got 15, 20 minutes. And then they didn't get that second goal. And then ultimately City, which they always do, they come back at you in the last 10 minutes. And once they kind of get on top of you, it's hard to switch it back again, isn't it?
Aye. It's for me, I didn't fancy any other result apart from a Newcastle win. Although I'll probably say Arsenal, because I just gone against the grain. But in the WhatsApp groups and that, I say to the lads, you'll beat Arsenal. 12:30 kickoff at St James's Park in Newcastle, freezing cold. The fans have had to travel up 6 o'clock in the morning to get here. They're not on top form. They're not drinking. Not that they can be heard anywhere there, because it's absolutely mental where they put you. But St. James's Park, I mean, I would like to say when the crowd get behind you, but the crowd were pretty poor again, I thought. I'm not saying that it's wrong or it's right, but I just genuinely find that home support is quite shit. It's always the away fans that you hear, generally. But they wouldn't have been up for it, and they weren't up for it. And Newcastle capitalised on it, and they got the win that they deserved. I thought, I didn't. Apart from Bukayo Saka, I didn't ever think that they were going to score.
No, they've done well, and I know we've obviously spoken about it, but again, this player that gets a lot of stick off a lot of Newcastle fans, Sean Longstaff. And he just does the crap that no one else does. He makes one bad pass and people's like, he's shite, he shouldn't play for us, he's not good enough. All the shit that he does do off the ball and the track and runners, and he just puts himself about there, like you say, wears his heart on his sleeve. And I think if you haven't got the likes of him in your team, they'll lose that game. And it's no coincidence that against Arsenal and Chelsea in the Cup, when he comes back into that team, they win them 2 games, I don't think.
It'll be the same ones that are saying Eddie out. That's who will be saying that. 100%. The majority of fans will be able to say that. It's the same as Scott McTominay at Manchester United, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Right. Exactly.
He's not good enough. He's not good. But the man wore his heart on his sleeve, played for the badge, not for the money.
You need that sometimes, don't you?
Something to them. But I'm with you on that. I'll just quickly flick through these. That's why you've got young ones like Brennan Johnson at Spurs. He listens to the older guys, and it's paying off because he's doing mint, isn't he?
He is very good.
Billy's saying Arsenal were poor, no real threat yet. Arsenal hated at St. James's Park, though, Sherry says. Did they? Not a lot of clubs can go in there and get something, to be fair. 14 degrees, man, Melly. It's the best atmosphere I've seen at St. James's Park. Not sure what the B team makes. Pick up. You obviously haven't been to many games. Jesus, if that was the best atmosphere. Honestly, it was like, it mirrored, like, when I've been to the christening. That's what it was coming across like on telly. And I'm not even taking the piss. Not lost this season with Stephen Longstaff playing 6, 1-1, drawn 1, lost none. John Ram.
Sean.
What did I say?
Steve
Longstaff.
Steve.
I go to every game, mate. Well, you must have headphones in then, Billy. You can't tell me that's the best atmosphere you've ever seen. Jesus. I celebrated when they scored and when the final whistle went. Honestly, I would love to get a bit of coverage and for you to prove us wrong, but that was poor. It's poor from where I was sitting, but I wasn't there, obviously. It does always soon different, doesn't it, on the telly as well. It
does.
At the match. Right, moving on. Another surprise result. Probably more surprising than the Newcastle one. Bournemouth 2, Man City 1. Bournemouth gone 2-0 up. Semenyo again scoring. Evan Nielsen, the new signing, scoring a little belter, really. Gvardiol rising like a prime Ronaldo to make it 2-1. Then Erling Haaland misses a sitter to equalise, and Bournemouth end up coming away with all 3 points. Bournemouth 2, City 1. How do you see it?
We're both won about this on the train, weren't we? And Bournemouth actually had balls cleared off the line and all sorts. They looked like they were really good and worthy of the win. And the commentator actually said that Bournemouth could have had 5 or 6 in that game. And getting off the stats and the goal attempts and like the highlights that we have watched, he's probably not far wrong. Edison made a couple of double saves. I mean, you see, I called this when Rodri got injured, and then people was like, "No, they've got other people that can come in." Not that can do what he can do, mate. He literally bosses. That's how good Rodri is. He literally bosses that whole midfield. He does the work of 2 men. And exactly, and people like disagreed with that because he's not like the flair player, but it's what he does off the ball as well. It's like what we're saying about Longstaff there. I'm not putting them in the same bracket by any means, but the same sort of thing. Like, he's worth his weight in gold to Man City, and him getting that injury could give Liverpool the title, and I hate to say it because Arsenal's dropping, and who else you got coming?
I think Liverpool's got to hit a little dip of form though. I cannot see keep going.
Well, but we've said we didn't think that they've played that well, and if they're not playing that well and they're still getting them 3 points all the time, which they are, it's worrying. Like,
you just got to cross your fingers for COVID again, haven't you?
Yeah,
win another COVID league.
That's it. Right.
I hope not. Honestly, I really, 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 really hope not. But it is looking very, very likely that they're up there, aren't they? They're in the. There's only 10 games gone. After 20 games, it could be completely different. Do you know what I mean? So, let's not get the Liverpool fans' hopes up. Moving on. Ipswich 1, Leicester 1. Liverpool 2, Brighton 1. Brighton take a lead. Liverpool come back out the second half. I've lost Gary. I'll just continue though until he comes back on, hopefully. Liverpool come back out the second half. Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah scoring for them. You the toilet?
That just went off.
And that finished 2-1 to Liverpool again. Brighton had chances again though, 2-1 doing, to get back into it. Could have quite easily been a draw, but you see it, they're holding out. They're grinding out results. Brighton had more ball possession, like.
Well, I didn't see much of the game, I'll be honest. I have watched the highlights back, and I didn't see this, but it was on Talk Sports this afternoon. I don't know, for anyone that else listens to it. And they were getting it because... No, in fact, it was before in the car on the way back because they were on it with Carragher was doing the Monday Night Football, and now he does his analysis on the game. And this guy said, and he pointed, he went, it's fair enough doing the analysis on the game against, but when it's Liverpool, you didn't because apparently it 1-0. When Brighton was 1-0 up, McAllister makes an absolute stinking challenge, and it should have been a second yellow. And he should have been like the same. It was Stonewall. He should have been sent off, like no doubt about it. And it gets waved away. Then Liverpool got on and score the 2 goals, but they should have been doing 10 men. But like, why didn't you analyse that? Because normally, if it's any other team, you analyse the referee's decisions, especially if it's something that's like the other way. You know what I mean? But
because there's that much money involved, they need a title race, don't they?
Aye.
It is though, and I was sitting here and laughing, but it is.
Right.
The Wolves manager hit the nail on the head. No, I don't think anybody's got it against Wolves because if they did, then the game's finished. But I feel different when I play Man City. Personally, I feel different. So are you telling me that a referee, an official, doesn't feel when there's a decision to be made that he's gonna go with the hierarchy team? Like the team that's controlling the leagues, like, of course you are. Whereas if it was Wolves against Everton, it probably wouldn't even have been a debate.
He would just give it to the team that's...
Aye.
Like, if he thinks it's a pen, he just gives it.
Aye. But because it's like against a team that's competing for the league, they're in 2 minds. They're in 2, and you can see it. Everybody can see it. It's in plain sight for everybody to see. And anybody that says it isn't happening is liars. And I mean, I'm telling you now, the Martinez challenge yesterday should have been a red card. There was no different.
He didn't give it because he hates Man United.
Yes, you know why he didn't give it? Exactly why I've just said there. Because of all the shit that's been going on lately with Michael Oliver and whatnot, and the decisions against Man United.
Give it against them.
Something has been said, right, from our main guys in the club to the MOL, right? I'm telling you, honestly, it's something's been said, and that's why it wasn't given.
Because they're like, look, you look like you're being biased towards Man United. Like, you just need to lay off them.
Aye. Because if that's 2 weeks ago, Martinez is getting sent off. 100%.
It probably could have been, couldn't it?
Well, yeah, he's gone in with his studs on his knee and then followed down on his foot. It's a sending off. That just proves my point.
Aye, it was.
So I mean, Liverpool getting decisions again. Liverpool. Nottingham Forest 3, West Ham 0. Forest are having the absolute season of their life, sitting in third place in the Barclays Premier League. Unbelievable. They've scored 14, they've conceded 7. I think they're the second. The only team that has conceded less is Liverpool on 6. It's amazing that.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it? It is. They're doing really well. They've got like a solid midfield, haven't they? Really, which like protects them more than out else. I mean, that Gibbs White, I think he's a class player, but he's been pushed into like a more of a forward role, and they've got a good team there. It's just keeping on to them, isn't it? We were speaking about him. We says like when that manager went to Spurs, that Nuno Espirito Santo, like he was a good manager at Wolves, and I just didn't know if he got the time at Spurs, did he? But he's obviously proven, because he went in after they had signed 30 players when they got promoted, and obviously he was told to like put a team together, sort of thing, wasn't he? And eventually he looks like he's done that.
I think this has gone off. Can you hear it?
Aye,
you're right what you're saying, Gary. He was a good manager. He was a good manager at Wolves. He did well. And it's paying off now, because at the end of last season, I think it was, he was in a relegation battle, wasn't he, if I remember rightly?
Mm-hmm. Aye.
Yeah, he's getting out of that. He's coming to the other side. He's got his team, his first 11, and he's got like a good backup of players there, and they're all sticking in. You got Chris Wood there, who wasn't good enough for Newcastle, scoring for fun, scoring for absolute fun. Like it's clicking, and a long way to continue. I hope they win the league.
And you've got to think, remember, obviously Elanga, who's went from Man United to Nottingham Forest, and they turned down that big bid at the end of the window of Newcastle. Like, so he's obviously felt like he had a team there that could like maybe compete for, I don't know. I doubt they were expecting to be competing like to get into the top sort of European places, but maybe it's the top half. Mm-hmm. But they're doing well.
Yes, long may continue. Southampton 1, Everton 0. A good win for Southampton. Wolves 2, Crystal Palace 2. A likely draw, let's say. Premier League on the Sunday. Tottenham 4, Aston Villa 1. Obviously, Villa taking early lead, 1-0. Second half, different animal come out. They did it against West Ham the other week. Tottenham. Johnson again scoring. And then Solanke, quick fire double. And James Maddison finishing off for a 4-1 win to Spurs. That win takes Spurs up to 7th and drop Villa down to 6th. Good win for Spurs, that, Gary.
It is. I mean, we missed the second half because we were making our way in towards the ground, but it was a bit of a cagey first half, wasn't it? I mean, Villa like probably deservedly took the lead, and Spurs just weren't really firing. But obviously, they got their asses kicked at half time, and it showed, like, because 4 second half goals, and like you say, that's not the first time they've done that this season. So they're capable of doing it. It's just like I don't know, they're just not doing it all the time, are they?
No. I mean, they beat us comfortably in West Ham. They've had a good run of results there. I like the manager, to be fair. I've said it all along, Gary.
He's honest, isn't he?
He's just honest, and that's not what you get nowadays. Everybody's telling you what you want to hear rather than, the truth. Finishing off, obviously, there's a game happening tonight. Fulham against, is it Brentford? Aye. Still remains 0-0. There's only 6 minutes gone. Finishing off at Old Trafford yesterday. Manchester United won. Chelsea won. Chelsea had more possession and goal attempts just by 1. Like a pretty tight, boring game, to be honest with you. Fernandes gets a penalty, and rightfully so. Martinez should have been sent off. He wasn't. Then you've got Neto runs down the wing. Again, beats 3 Man United players, unchallenged, really. Wins a corner. Corner comes in, headed out, and you've got little Casino on the edge of the box. As soon as he hit it, I was sitting right behind it. I says to Melvin, I says, that's in.
Good finish.
Good finish. And the draw was probably the right result, wasn't it? I didn't think any team deserved to win it.
Not really. Like you say, it was a bit of a boring match, really. Not really any team seemed to like commit to win the game, I didn't feel. And there was a lot of misplaced passes. It was a very, very scrappy game. I mean, once we got the goal, the crowd got up a bit, but then that fizzled up because then they equalised within like 10 minutes. So it kind of took the sail, didn't it? But like, it's the same old Man United that it's like, well, just poor passing, simple balls, like 10, 20-yard passes, cannot make them, get into really, really good positions. And it's as if they're just lashing the ball across the net instead of trying to get the head up and actually look for someone. How many times we've got into positions like that and just giving the ball away? There's going to be a lot of personnel change there, I feel like. I know Billy's probably going to have a pop like because we've spent 620 million, but it doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't look like it.
I said Xerxes starting to like come into it a bit, but he is poor.
Oh, Melly, that's 2 games running. I've seen him run through 1-on-1 and trip over his own feet because I didn't think it's because he's fouled now. I think he's like shit his pants and he just freezes and he's fouled now twice, like 1-on-1.
Mixture of Shola Amiobi and Marwan Fellaini.
And say Joe Bob.
Honestly, mate, I've never seen no like it.
Nah.
Every time he gets the ball, you can hear the crowd. Straight away. Because now what's coming? You ever can lose it or misplace the pass.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. I mean, I hope it gets better for him. You've got to support him, but it's not looking very good. Like, we'll flick through these quickly. Liverpool, says James Brown. Yes, correct. Semenyo is top quality, needs a top 4 team. I think you'll get one. Liverpool were awful for 70 minutes. Hello, boys. Hope you are keeping well. Hello, Rooney lad.
Terry.
Lee Fairgrieve. Hello, lads. Hello, Ferry.
Ferry, I'll be there in the morning with the rubbish.
Howard Webb, the Man U fan, is in charge of the whole thing. Wish he was
you wouldn't
back.
think it.
Woke up today and the referee was still a wanker. Liam Chris.
Oh, Crispy.
Yeah, I'm all right, son. There is talk. Can Forest win the league and can they deal Leicester? My opinion, nah, they cannot. I don't think, but out can happen. Like, well, you never know. People said that about Leicester. Would you lads have had Solanke? Not for me, nah.
Not for me. I would have rather went for Ivan Toney, to be honest.
Goal scorer, any?
Aye, that's who I would have went for.
Negativity of the betting scandal and that, wasn't it? They were never going to go for him. I didn't think anybody wanted him for that reason.
And the one going to offer the $500,000 a week that he was getting offered in Saudi, wasn't it?
Is that what he was getting?
He's went from
$500,000 a week.
He's went from 20 grand a week or something to $500,000.
That's mental, that, like.
No, I mean, like, you can't blame the kid for doing it.
No, short careers.
But I mean,
you get to that level, you now find we'll try and win something, and then you can play in the Saudi League at 40-year-old, can't you?
But he's like 29, isn't he? He's probably thinking that these offer me 4-year deal on $500,000 a week.
Set for life.
Well, he is
in my life.
In 3 or 4 year time,
I'm not going to be in the Premier League because I'm not playing in it. He's thought,
everybody could break his legs. You got to think like outside the box. Like, how could happen? Anything?
You're right. Like, Ari lads, this Kai. Hello, mate. Amorim. We'll give you our thoughts after this quick break. What a player would he like? Just goes to show Toon can spoil talent. Ivan Toney amongst others. Jeez, I because he was there as well, wasn't he? Anthony was still the worst buy for use. I don't know. I think Xerxes is getting quite close. Honestly, we've had some terrible ones. High work rate is great, but headless chicken at times. Solanke. Yes, right. Just gonna quickly grab a toilet, and I'm gonna hide these ads on because people have very kindly pay with monthly. It's $5 a week or something to display ads. They're all local lads, so please watch them. And if you need any of the products that are about to follow, get in touch and they will sort you out. Cheers. 2 minutes. If you'd like to advertise with us like these following businesses have done, then get in touch with Melly or Gary It's only a £5 a show, and we're hitting on average, I would say, between 10 and 20,000 people per month. Support us, and we'll help support you. Melly's Carpets and Beds, 63 Station Road in Ashington. Free measures are available daily. You can call 01670 632216 or find us on Facebook. Melly's Carpets and Beds. Laying our reputation, one recommendation at a time. BA Commercials and Northeast Metals Limited, where you can get almost any used car part. The best prices is paid here for scrap vehicles and metals. They have containers to rent short and long term from just £30 per week, as well as plant hire and also commercial buildings for rent. Call during working hours on 07825 405 772. GB Glazing and Joinery Limited, based in Ashington, Northumberland, but covering the whole of the Northeast. CERTAS approved, who specialise in windows, doors, warm roofs, kitchen, conversions, and conservatories. Call Gary during working hours on 07825 160 777. A1 Fire Stopping and Drilling Services, who specialise in installation and maintenance of passive fire protection, fire stopping, and thermal installation systems. You can email your query to Martin. That's at martin.gallen@a1firestop.co.uk, or call during working hours on 07751 429 045. A1 Fire Stopping Services. Ashington Properties, whose company mission is to create high-quality homes for the local community and Northumberland, and whose company values are transparency, trust, and loyalty. You can email them at ashingtonproperties@gmail.com or call during working hours on 07985 203 094. Mates Rates Pro Cleaning, professional internal and external cleaning, both residential and commercial. Follow them on all social media platforms or call Nick on 07423 333 496 during working hours. And last but not least, most cuts. You can call Lewis on 07519 07787. You can find him on Facebook, and you can also book through the Booksy app. You'll find them down in Newbiggin on Front Street, straight opposite Chisholm Bookmakers. Always look fresh when you get cut off Moz. Yes, lad. You obviously weren't watching the ads. Get in. I am getting the ladder. Okay, now 37K. Unbelievable. Right. Should we move? Or should we quickly just skip through the AFL Cup because it was on through the week? First off, Southampton beat Stoke 3-2. And Brentford beat Chef Wed 2-1. Then Brighton, unfortunately again, getting beat off Liverpool 3-2. Crystal Palace beat Aston Villa 2-1. Man United hammered Leicester 5-2. Newcastle beat Chelsea Reserves 2-0. Preston got beat off Arsenal 3-0. And Tottenham beat Man City 2-1. The next round sees Tottenham play Man United, Arsenal play Crystal Palace, Newcastle play Brentford, and Southampton play Liverpool. The winners of the ties will progress to the semi-final of the AFL Cup. Not a bad little looking quarter-final there, Gary, to be fair.
It's not.
Nah.
Not bad at all.
And just quickly, on Saturday in the Championship, Middlesbrough got hammered at home. They got a man sent off in the 22nd minute, Hackney, and Coventry went on to batter them 3-0. Sunderland, again, had a man sent off, Joby Bellingham, in the 58th minute, and they held out for a 0-0 draw at struggling QPR, I believe. Moving on to this week.
Still a good point on the road, though. Any point on the road's a good point, I think.
It's still top of the league. It's still looking well for them. So I hope it continues and they get that Northeast derby back. Definitely.
Ferry in the comments there.
I'm
He's
flicking.
saying, where's LHS? Like, but you've got to pay Ferry.
Nah. You know, I don't drop me rubbish off and you say, dude, it's all right. I don't want out. How a Ferry, man.
Sign up.
Hold on for you, so knee bar all. Free rubbish for the rest of our working days. Billy Noble, still near Amanda Holden voiceover. Class ads. Where's LHS? Like, how did the Mighty Mags do? They beat Chelsea reserves 2-0, Billy. Lee Fairgrieve, it's a 5-0, so out of your league, mate. Right, so Saturday sees the Brentford against Bournemouth. Let me know what you think in the comments. How do you think it'll be? How do you think it'll go? While me and Gary analyze and predict.
So where will they there? Sorry, Barney.
Brentford against Bournemouth on Saturday.
I had a bit of I was having a bit of think about this, you know, and what we should probably do for something like this is set up like a token turf Super 6 sort of thing and get everyone involved.
Aye, 100%.
You know,
do
like,
that, though.
Till the end of the season, and we'll see like who can make other bragging rights.
Aye, 100%. We should do that. The PL, the Fantasy League. I still haven't gotten the grips with it.
Hey, not
nah.
Is that why you're second bottom?
Probably. Am I still
Hey, not got Ivan Tony up front. Was that your Jack?
What is it called again?
Fantasy Premier League, the FPL.
Fantasy Premier League, FPL.
I'm sure you had Ivan Tony up front for about 3 months. He's in Saudi.
Right, probably. Jesus. What do you reckon the score will be anyway?
I'm going to go 2-2.
Desmond?
Aye, Brentford, Bournemouth. I think they've both got goals in them, like, so 2-2.
No, I can't even sign into this Fantasy Premier League anymore, so it's gone. I will sign back in, though, and we will do, because a lot of people like got involved, didn't they?
Aye, they did. They did.
Aye, we should do it. I'm going to go for 1-1 draw. Can't see no other. People in the comments, Billy Noble's gone for 2-1 to Bournemouth, as has Terry Haglington. Billy Noble, yeah. Lee Fairgrieve, haha. Who are we going for, Ferry? What's your score prediction? Crystal Palace and Fulham, Gary.
I'm going to go for away win, 2-1.
James Brown's gone for 1-1 with the Bournemouth. Aye. Sorry, what?
2-1 to Fulham, mate.
2-1 to Fulham. Ferry's gone for a Desmond 2-2. For...
Right, there you are, Molly.
Yeah, I can't see it. Where am I?
Third bottom, 10 Hags +1.
I'm sure that's broken. I'm going to go for another wantage draw. I can't see it being any other. Billy Noble's gone for 2-1 to Fulham, whereas James Brown has gone for 2-0 to Palace. Terry Haglington's gone for 1-0 to Palace. Good draws then. Another good draw coming up here, actually. West Ham, Everton. I'm going to go for 2-2. What are you going for?
Home win. I'm going to go 3-1 to West Ham.
West Ham struggling in that, Gary.
They won, eh?
Aye, I mean, they only beat us. Apart from that, we got hammered off Tottenham, hammered off Forest, draw against Brentford, beat Ipswich. Lost against Liverpool, Chelsea, City. Oh, well, they've played some hard teams. Like 3-1, though.
Aye, at home.
Jesus.
Fancy them?
I think Ferry went for 1-0 to Palace. Billy Noble says it's going to be 2-1 to West Ham. 2-2, Terry Haglington. 2-1 to West Ham, says James Brown. And how are you, guys? Geez, 1-0, he reckons, to West Ham. I'm going for Desmond 2-2. Wolves v Southampton. Jesus, some shit games this weekend.
If he went to the bookers, he'd win a fortune. You've got draw.
Aye, I'm going for another try, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love me tries. You get 4 tries, you get 130 to 1. Normally.
Oh, you want to go then?
Aye.
Wolves against Southampton. I'm going to go Wolves 2-1.
It's got dry written all over it, really, but I think Wolves are due a win. So I'm going to mirror you, Gary. I'm going to go 2-1 to Wolves. Ferry thinks it'll be nils each. Billy Noble thinks it'll be 1-1. Terry Haglington's gone for 3 now to Wolves. And James Brown's gone for 1-1. A lot of people think there's going to be a draw there. Brighton host Manchester City in the 17:30 kickoff. How do you see that going, Gary?
I'm going to go for a 2-1 Brighton win.
2-1 Brighton win. Yeah.
I am.
Yes. I'm not. I'm going to go for 3-1 City. I think they've had a run of disappointing results and they'll turn it on and they'll beat them. Lee Fairgrieve is gone for 2s each. Terry Haglington's gone for a City 2-1 win. Billy Noble's gone for a 3-1 Brighton win. James Brun is saying the same as me, 3-1 to City. That isn't the last game on Saturday, though. Absolutely ridiculous, this. 8 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday night. Aston Villa against Liverpool. The Villa fans will probably not be able to get home on any trains.
It's just doing the road, man, isn't it?
Nah, it's still going to be like...
But the night, you get, yeah.
It's a Noah whack from the...
Now we just don't know who does. What's the matter with you? Saturday night, Liverpool? What do you want?
I'm going for a 2-1 Villa win.
I cannot say I'll put a home win. I'm going to go on Liverpool 2-1.
Aye. James Brun, he reckons it'll be 2-1 to Villa as well.
Well,
time to turn it back run. What who does? Says Billy Noble. I don't know. Honestly, Gary obviously does. The pool wins 3-1. It's Terry Haglington. Lee Fairgreaves laughing his heat off. Billy Noble says 2-1 to Villa. Barry, what's your prediction? Get it in, lad. Get it in. He's gone 2-1. Where's he keep going? He's like fucking dynamo the night. Jesus. 2-1 to Lee Fairgreave. 2-1 to Lee Fairgreave. Lee Fairgreave reckons it'll be 2-1. We'll go on to the Sunday, the Premier League. Quite a run of games, actually. Be interesting to see who got the 2 o'clock kickoff off Sky. It's not us. It's fucking Forest and the Tune is going to be hell on. It is. Fucking Forest and the Tune. Hey, lad. Right. Man United against Leicester. How do you see that gone?
Oh, I'm going to say 4-0 Man United.
4-0 Man.
I was trying to keep a straight face.
Hey, you're right there, James, lad. Haha, Gary, you're mad. You're fucking right, he is. Hey. What about... Ferry's gone for 3 now to United. James Brown's gone for 3 now to United. 3-1 to the Manx, says Terry Haglington. And 2-2, says Billy Noble. I reckon it's going to be 3-1. I think we'll get a different Leicester to what we did in the Cup. Although Leicester played all right, to be fair. I just think we played really good. So pretty anonymous there. Everybody gone for United apart from Billy Noble, who sits in the stadium with his headphones on. Nottingham Forest against Newcastle.
I'm going to say Forest 2 out.
Forest 2 out.
Aye.
I think the 2 will score. I think it'll be 3-1 to Forest.
I think Chris Wood's going to come back to haunt them again.
Would I?
I just don't think they can deal with strikers like that.
Scored a hat-trick, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Billy Noble's gone 4 out to the 2. Terry Haglin's 2-1. Toon, Isak and Gordon. 2-2, says Jimmy. And Lee Fairgreaves gone 4-1 to Forest. Woody Harrick. Get in. Tottenham against Ipswich. 4-0 to Tottenham.
I'm going to go 3-1 Spurs.
3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think scores?
Oh, Brennan Johnson, Solanke and Son.
Brennan Johnson, Solanke and Son.
You know who else I like for Spurs? That Kuleveski. I think he's like...
Aye, he is.
Really good for him.
Aye, he's a threat.
Very, very good.
Mm-hmm. Aye, I'm with you. James Brown is saying 4-1 to Spurs. Billy Noble has gone for 3-0 to Spurs. So is Lee Fairgreave.
Gallen's gone how out.
Where is he?
It's Billy Noble said Gallen's gone how out.
He hasn't been on the night. He knew he was going to get ridiculed, didn't he? Tunnel vision bastards what they are. Terry Haglin's gone 2-1 to Spurs. Ferry went 3-0. I didn't have that. I already put that up.
Pretty anonymous, that. It was pretty anonymous. Everyone's went Spurs.
Yep. The last game before another stupid international break. Before it's obviously Carsley's last run. Before we get the Germans in. And
I thought he started in January, does he not know?
Who?
Is he German?
Yeah, but that's it now. This is the last 2 games.
Is it? All right.
And then there's an international break in December. Because obviously it's a very busy schedule, isn't it?
Right.
The last 2 games is the last game is between Chelsea and Arsenal. What a way to end the day.
Very good game. See, we said this in the summer about Arsenal, and it's coming back to bite them in the arse again. I think they needed an out-and-out striker. They didn't get one, and I think that's where they're going to fall short. I think Chelsea could nick this. I told them I'm going to get 2-1 Chelsea.
2-0 Chelsea?
2-1.
2-1 Chelsea?
Aye. I think Arsenal will score, but I think Chelsea will pick them.
I think I'm going to go for 3-1 to Chelsea. I don't know. Arsenal aren't looking... You know, with Odegaard, and it's the same with Rodri. Odegaard makes a massive difference in that team.
I think he's close to being back in. You're right.
He's not going to play in the Premier League.
Uh-huh.
You'll keep him till after the international break. They're not on international duty. It'd be stupid to risk him for 1 game for the sake of potentially losing him for another 8. They'll just keep him. He'll come back.
I think Arsenal, for having like that many good like forward players, they just missed someone to be able to hold the ball up like someone strong, because they've got that many runners and quick, smaller players off the ball. But they just need somebody to hold it, to bring them in. Like, I don't know.
That's what Havertz was bought for, wasn't he?
Aye, I mean, and he does do good at times, and he does score a lot of goals, but I just
haven't got an out-and-out striker, I don't think, same as us. They haven't got that. You need a holding 10, 2 fast wingers, and an out-and-out goal scorer. Hold it up, bring people into play it wide. The players that have come into play are then flooding the box. Put the ball in the box, and then 5, 6 times out of 10, you'll score. But they're getting it out wide. Saka put 2 men balls across the box against the Toon. There's nobody there. And number 9 is there every time, isn't he? He's there. He knows that you're going to beat that man and cross it across the box. So he's already preempting that, and he's there, and he'll bury it every time. It's what Haaland does. Haaland does it very well. That's all he does. We'll have a big crack with that, because we've got a little bit of time, actually. But let's see what everybody else thinks here. Terry's gone for 2-1 to Spurs. Barry thinks it'll be a dire 1-1. Billy Noble thinks it'll be 3-2 to the Chelsea. Terry Haglinton thinks the Arsenal will win 2-1. James Brown thinks 2-1 to Arsenal as well. To make good teams look shite though, lads. Like me and Gaz for the horn. So, me and Gary had a quick debate before we're gone, right? And we had a proper debate, didn't we, Gary? It was like You seriously think that Erling Haaland is the best thing since sliced bread? And I
Not the best thing. I just think he's the best striker in the league and probably world football by far. Him and Lewandowski, they're in a world of their own.
Aye.
A day, not a day. And he thinks...
You put your point across. Why you think he is...
Right. So, me and Melly's had this debate on the train going to the game. I'm saying that Erling Haaland is one of the best strikers in the world because he scores as many goals as he does. They're not just like easy goals, like headers from all over the box. He scores outside the box and inside the box. He thinks he's a tap-in merchant. Surely no one else thinks that Haaland's just a tap-in merchant. That's my point.
Right. My point was, yes, he's good, right? Yes, he's good. But you put any striker on that Man City team and he scores just as many goals. What I'm trying to say is he's not as good as Ruud van Nistelrooy. Nowhere near. He's not as good as Henry. Nowhere near. He's not as good as Shearer. Although it pains us to say that. You put any of them into the current Manchester City team, they're literally, and I mean literally, putting it on a plate for him 9 times out of 10. He cannot link the game up at all. He takes a touch. He's got a touch like an absolute elephant. Like, he cannot link the game up.
I don't think he's a great footballer.
He's good, but he did well in the Farmers League over in Germany. Well, there's only 2 teams in the league. Well, there was then anyway. And then he's come to England and he's playing with Foden, Rodri, Grealish, like the best of the best, De Bruyne. And he's literally, it's put on a plate. I said to Gary, you could play for them and score just as many goals. And he said, why not fucking likely? I would like to see what people think. And now he's good. I'm not disputing the fact that he's good. But if he was staying at Nottingham Forest, then I'd say...
Look at Billy. Look at what Billy's put. Amiobi scored 40. Look at what you've done. Amiobi couldn't score 40 in line with welfare, man.
Haaland's a 90s goal poacher. Haaland, world class, different gravy. Amiobi would score 40 goals a season in City's team. I have a question. How long does a hernia take to heal? He's out for the season, Fairy. He's out for the season. But it's interesting. It is interesting because I think it'll... people will think, it's because I'm a Man United. You're a Man United fan. You're not saying that. Do you know what I mean? It's not because I'm a Man... I thought Aguero was outstanding. Do you know what I mean? I thought Aguero was a proper striker. Not only did he score goals, left foot, right foot, headers, beat defenders constantly, scored from any angle. But he also, he could also pick the ball up and bring players into the game and stuff. I liked him. But I didn't think Haaland's on the same kind of page as him. I really didn't.
No, he's not. He's a total different striker. That's what I'm saying. But I think like Haaland, he is a goal poacher, but he's a beast anywhere in the box. He's not going to link. He'll not link up the same as what Aguero would, and he'll not score the same kinds of. Although he does score some rakers from outside the box, but Aguero wouldn't score the towering headers that he does. I mean, he literally comes flying in, and he can be 12 to 14 yards out, and he just brays it in with his head from anywhere in the box. That's what I like about him, and I don't think it's an easy thing to do.
I don't know.
That's my point.
Kevin Phillips says Phillips was a good striker, wasn't he, though? You remember that goal against the Toon, pissing down rain? Ball comes across and he glides it up his foot to carry it over I don't know, it was Shea Given or Harbour. It was mint. Mm-hmm. Honestly, it come across. I've scored one similar against you. And friend that says Haaland's a fantastic goal poacher. Shearer, Henry, Ruud Van are strikers. 100% goal poacher. If Sir Alan had gone to the fake United, he would have scored 50 each season. He did go to fake United. Golden Boot winner, says Lee Fair. There's no disputing it. Ferry, he could go and play for City and score 50 a season, man.
He couldn't, man.
He could.
He couldn't.
100,000,000%. Jesus did. Gabriel Jesus, he went to Arsenal. He was shit.
He didn't.
He did.
Jesus didn't score 50.
Good, mate.
No, he didn't.
Jesus, but Man City.
Nah.
Eh.
Not on the same level as Haaland.
$95 goals he scored for City.
In how many games?
But he wasn't on every week, was he? Like Haaland is.
I'd not be on the same ratio as him. The man scored more hat-tricks than Ronaldo, man, and Shearer put together. He's only been there 2 seasons.
The fact that he can score goals because he can score goals. Everybody can do that.
You just never like him because he plays for Man City.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is, he wouldn't be doing that at Forest. He wouldn't be doing that at Leicester. He couldn't go to Valencia and do that. You know what I mean?
What?
He couldn't, Gary.
He done it for Dortmund. He done it for Salzburg.
In a Farmers League.
Eh?
In a Farmers League.
You're joking? The kip at us.
There's only Dortmund and Bayern Munich.
Ah, but he does it against Bayern Munich, you know. We couldn't.
No,
we're
not getting paid $500,000 a week. You know what I mean?
Still couldn't do it even if we won.
Tell me, you can't play for that City team now, right? I'm telling you.
I'm out for the season.
Aye. Yeah, didn't score against Dan Burn. There you go. That tells you everything you need to know. Did Shearer ever get golden boot? Surely Shearer got a golden boot.
Well, yeah.
Eh?
Of course he did.
He's got to have.
He's the highest goal scorer.
That, like, he played in a good era, didn't he? There was some good goal scorers. Ruben Shearer was a boot. That's a good one for Google, that. Did Alan Shearer ever win a golden boot?
Are you stupid?
Eh? Alan Shearer sent Newcastle, dude. Aye, but he did. He won his 3rd consecutive Premier League golden boot, so aye, he did.
How many?
Well, it just says he won his 3rd consecutive. First season, won his 3rd consecutive Premier League golden boot. How many times Alan Shearer won them? 3. Wayne Rooney closely behind him.
How many's
Oh
Haaland?
no, Wayne Rooney, who was the Premier League's 2nd highest goal scorer of all time, never won a golden boot.
Did he not?
That's mental, that bastard, says Ferry. He did it at Blackburn. Right, that's what up. That's an hour and 10 minutes done. Good crack again, Gary. I hope you enjoy your holiday, pal. How long are you away for?
Till next Tuesday.
Oof. Anybody wants to stay talking turf next week as a shoot? Fill in for Gary. Unless we date on Tuesday night. Take me back?
7:30.
In the morning?
At night.
Say 8? I'll be in touch. I'll let you know when we're going to do it. Good crack once again, though. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night and long live Manchester United.